Hey, what's going on, guys? Matt back with another video. In today's video, we're going to be doing an oil change on the first oil change at that, on the new to me 2019 Silverado Trail Boss. The reason why I highly recommend you do an oil change anywhere from 5 to 6,000 miles, maybe even sooner, depending on what kind of oil you're using, is these 5.3s for the last, I don't know, 15 some odd years, GM cylinder deactivation, right? So if not needed, as in the power is not needed, the V8 will drop from a 8-cylinder to a 4-cylinder, and that uses hydraulic fluid, the oil as a hydraulic fluid to essentially deactivate the lifters and so on and so forth. So what happens over time, especially when you're using oil well past the recommended, these galleries within these lifters can get clogged up. And when that happens, the lifter starts to stick, and then that's when you start having problems, right? You get that tick, and that tick gets worse and worse, and then you got to have the service done or the job done. So to prevent that, I plan on doing an oil change on this bad boy, maybe 5 to 6,000 miles, every 5 to 6,000 mile interval. I know it seems like a lot, especially when I plan on using Mobil 1 extended performance along with the best oil filter I can buy, but it's one of those things I'd rather not have to, pay a couple $1,000s to have, lift. So the first step is going to be to purchase your oil, and for the 5.3 liter V8 on the Chevy platform, I think it requires anywhere from 7 to 8 quarts. Again, double check your user manual, but I believe it's anywhere from 7 to 8 quarts. Maybe start with 7, check your dipstick, and go from there. In this case, I have the Mobil 1 extended performance, which again guarantees for about 20,000 miles, but in this case we're going to be doing those oil changes a lot sooner to prevent from heartache down the road. So it's OW20, has that triple action plus, which does a whole bunch of neat stuff to the motor. And again, I have about 5 US quarts here, 5 quarts here. So I'm gonna have a little bit extra, and I'll probably save that for the next oil change, being that they're gonna be fairly frequent. So for the oil filter, I ended up getting the top of the line Fram Ultra Synthetic filter. They're about 11 bucks compared to like the basic $3-4 filter, and then their mid-entry level filter, which is about $7. This bad boy is rated again for about 20,000 miles of protection. We're gonna be doing them a lot sooner. Optimized for full synthetic, for synthetic oil, which is what we have here. All right, guys, so the neat thing about this Trail Boss Silverado is you do have a little 2-inch lift, which I think gives me excellent amount of clearance to access that drain plug as well as that oil filter right there. So if you have a standard height Tacoma, stock ride height, you should still be able to squeeze in under here without having to, put it on a lift. But, the Trail Boss just makes it that much easier. And as you can see, we're right behind the front wheels, right on the side. And we have our drain plug right there. So let's get ready to crack that one open, drain this oil. So there's about 8 quarts of oil in there, so we're gonna let it sit for about 15, maybe 20 minutes. It's dribbling right now, and then we'll work on getting that oil filter off. All right, guys, so at this point we've had the oil draining for about 15 to 20 minutes. We have our new oil filter here. What we're gonna wanna do is get a little bit of that old oil, just a little bit. And we're gonna wanna glaze this gasket here with that oil, help create a nice tight seal. And then we're going to want to put our drain plug and torque it down to about 18 foot-pounds. Still see a little bit of dribbling, but that's not a problem. It's been draining for a good bit here. We have our oil plug all torqued up. We have our oil filter nice and hand tight. What we're going to do is put our first 7 quarts of oil into the motor, start it up for about 30 seconds, let it idle, shut it off, and then double check our dipstick, see where we're at. If we need to adjust, most likely up, add a little bit more oil, we'll do that. If not, we'll leave it as is. In this case, I'm a little low on oil, so what I'll do is add another half a quart, run it for about 20-30 seconds, check my dipstick, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, so that half a quart proved to be all we needed. Oil level is on point, perfect. So we're complete with our oil change here. What you can do now is reset the oil reminder on the computer. All right, one last thing, guys, disposing oil. The best way we can do that is putting it into our old can there, taking it to a local auto parts store, AutoZone, Advanced Auto, Pep Boys, and they'll dispose of it for free. That's the video. Thanks again for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to ask them below in the comment section. If you're not already subscribed, feel free to subscribe. Definitely helps the channel out grow. If not, at a minimum, like the video, dislike it, do something. Outside of that, guys, have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video. God bless.